Hey, welcome to the what?
Oh, what it do? What the business is? What's happening?
Man, we back in the building, man. Once again on the Trash Talk Countdown Show. Hey, I'm your host, Bobby. That's your other host right there, Shine. We in the building back again on another episode of Trash Talk. Hey, man, Shine, what we got today, man, for the people?
Big fight coming up. Israel
Big fight
Adesanya
coming
versus
up.
Robert Whittaker. Gonna talk a little bit about that. Let me know if you guys are excited. UFC 271. I really feel like a few weeks ago we talked about it, didn't like it. Now we look at it again, and ain't that bad. Ain't that bad. One fight changed everything. We're gonna talk about that.
There's a couple fights on here that I want to see. The main event and the co-main event. I don't know about the rest of it, but we're gonna talk about this card in a whole. What else we got on this show tonight, man?
Tough 30 coming up with Nunez and Pena. The main question when we get there is, are you gonna watch it? Do you still watch it? When's the last Ultimate Fighter you watched? And then a little bit about Judge Affair. If y'all caught that Sean Strickland fight last night, judging weird. We gonna talk about it.
Judging weird. It must have been blind. He been drinking. They were in Vegas. He might have had a drink to the side. That's probably what happened that night.
Sometimes you just got to keep that thing on you.
We had a little liquor in his cup.
But without further ado, let's get it started. Hey, somebody farted in here. Ooh, ooh. Anyway, round number one.
Hey.
Look, 5 minutes on the clock. Is excitement building? Are they doing a good job of building the excitement for this fight coming up?
I don't know if they're doing a good job building the excitement. I think Adesanya is a good fighter. Whittaker is a good fighter as well. I think it's one of those fights that builds itself. So I've heard some things that Adesanya is not as excited. He's a little bit nervous for the fight itself, but everyone gets nervous before a big fight like this, especially a fighter as Whittaker, because Whittaker has the talent. He has the pedigree to actually take Adesanya the distance and actually may come out with a victory. I don't think he will, but it's an opportunity for him to come out with a victory in this fight right here. But I mean, they're not really building it up as much as I would like them to. Adesanya is saying a few things here and there that's some bait. He putting some bait out there. So we can hang on to it. Some McGregor quotes, but it's not as good as a McGregor would do. But how do you feel about this fight, man?
Man, I don't know. Like, I need to be excited for this fight because of the fact that, look, Robert Whittaker was a very good champion. Stylebender, very good champion. And you've got these two guys that are colliding. And it could be fireworks. The last one, he got him out 3:30 in round 2 and caught him reaching. And you got to think, as a champion that is Robert Whittaker, that's some things that they're going to fix, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to think, as Adesanya goes up to light heavyweight and he's got that loss to Jan Blachowicz, and it's really showing some of the stuff that you can do. You know, maybe we see something new out of Robert Whittaker. I know Vittori tried to do it, and it wasn't very successful. But this Robert Whittaker,
Vittori was like a big brick wall, though. It's one of those things where he wasn't as agile as some other fighters in the 185. He to me, it looked like he just stood there and just let Adesanya hit him in the face,
which you can't do. But with this fight, Robert Whittaker ain't no pushover, and that's what's so scary about it. Is like both these guys went through this murderous row of people to get where they are right now. You've got Adesanya, who, looking at it right now, he goes through Derek Brunson, Anderson Silva, Kevin Gastelum, and then Robert Whittaker for the belt. And then defends it against Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa, dropped one to Blachowicz, Marvin Vittori, and now we're here. Okay, that's cool. But then you look at the challenger. Is this not one of the greatest challengers that you get that comes to the table too? And that's what's crazy about this fight. You got, man, this dude was the champ, right? Now he fighting, let's see, was that for the belt? No, them was just 3 5-minute rounds when he was fighting Jacare, Brunson and all them. Romero fought him twice. Then he goes through, loses to Adesanya, Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, Kevin Gastelum, and now he's back. This fight has history in the making. But I'm still not excited.
Sean, I'm gonna use something that you said to me all the time whenever we talk about fighters who fought each other before. It's the same story. We already seen this before. You know what I'm saying? You hit me with this all the time. We've seen this before.
We have, but think about it like this. Like, you got a guy like Conor McGregor who makes a bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
So when he goes out and he fights a Dustin Poirier, and then he's like, I want a rematch, but he wants it in like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing gonna get fixed by then, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I usually tend to lean towards like, well, we already seen this before. Like, what are we gonna see that's new? You take Robert Whittaker, who has basically been a great champion, but listen to me, when they put him up against Yo Romero, we went, well, it was a good run, Whittaker. You know,
hey, I don't know.
We counted him out a bunch and he proved us wrong. Then he goes out and he loses to Adesanya, and it's almost like we forgot he existed, right?
Yeah.
Like we're just like, oh, well, he sucked this whole time. Well, he didn't. And so now you've got this guy, he's got a chip on his shoulder. The last fight that they had, I got it pulled up right here, 2019. It's 2022. You can change some shit by then.
True.
So it's not necessarily what we seen before. It's just that whenever you've got like Conor McGregor, he wants to rematch against Nate Diaz in 3 months. We done seen that, you know. I can
use the same logic though. We ain't seen that in a while now. We ain't seen that in a while. He might fix some things that happened the last time he fought, because that last time Conor McGregor fought Nate Diaz, it was controversial as well too. So I mean, I thought Nate Diaz won.
Kind of laughing over ice cream.
Man, that was hilarious. He eat my favorite ice cream though.
Is that strawberry?
Like. Yeah, strawberry shortcake right there. That's strawberry shortcake ice cream.
Bruh. Anyway, real quick, hey, man, who you got?
I was going to ask you the same question, man. I got Adesanya winning this in the 3rd round. I think it goes a little bit longer than what it did the first time around, but I think it goes in the 3rd round. I think Adesanya, it takes him a little bit to feel his way out or feel his way through the process, and then I feel like he catches him in the 3rd round and actually puts him down. What do you feel about this fight, man?
You know I got to be extra.
You do.
I got to be extra. I was saying that to somebody when I was like, I'm so extra. All right, this is what I got. I got Robert Whittaker edging out a close victory or a come from behind victory in this fight, becoming the champion again, but then Adesanya beating him handedly in the trilogy. Just
you're making some drama there.
Look, because they're going to fight again for the 3rd time. He's going to fight him in the trilogy. And then from there, what we're going to be looking at is a 3rd fight that's going to be like, okay, yeah, we want to see that. We want to see that because it was come from behind victory. He going to get his left eye. It's going to get cut or swollen. Listen to me now. I'm about to pull off some Mystic Max shit right here today.
Max shit.
He gonna either get his left eye cut or it's gonna be swollen. He gonna fight through anniversary and he's gonna pull off the comeback or upset win, and then he's gonna get beat in the trilogy. Bow. That's what you heard it here first. Round number 2.
There ain't gonna be no trilogy. You're gonna knock him out in the 3rd round. It's gonna be over, man. There's some more fights that's happening on this card, man. We're gonna get into it. But before we get into it, man, we gotta get into what's in the bottom right corner. Stunting is a habit. Get like us, habits365.com/trash talk BS for that 10% discount on apparel. And if you want your logo or promo in the bottom right corner, all you gotta do is hit us up at
my feet smell like butt at gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. UFC 271. There's some other fights on this card that I'm intrigued about, and there's one just sitting right on the screen right there. Lewis versus Tuivasa. Shui versus the Black Beast. how do you feel about this fight, man? I am excited. I think I'm more excited about this fight because I like the two fighters in this fight. I enjoy watching them fight. I think this fight is more interesting than the main event. What's your thoughts and feelings about this fight right here?
Now, I said it before, and I still hold the same rhetoric of like, when I look at this fight, I'm like, the implications of this fight, whoever wins, we're not like stratosphere. It's just a fun fight, really. But the idea that I really felt like this fight was a like fight night main event or something, or on some different card. This wasn't here before because we were talking mad trash about this card and how it wasn't filled out yet. Now, you take this fight that I'm like, whatever, we're good, and you put it on this card, and you've got Adesanya Whittaker as the main event. Now, this is the co-main event. Man, I'm excited for this fight card now.
They had to do it, man, because you paying extra money to watch these fights, man. They had to do this.
Hey, we talk. They listen. See, I'm right there. I'm right there on Dana forehead, right there with my finger. Like, listen to me when I say this. So if that's the case, and then boom, hit the third fight, Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson. Who? That's a sleeper banger.
That's a good fight. I feel like, and
Blonde Brunson. Blonde Brunson is a superstar. That is hilarious. Are you shitting me? My man has made himself into a superstar for doing a pose and dyeing his hair blonde. He been photoshopped into everything. I'm pretty sure he been to space. I'm pretty sure he been to space. He been photoshopped and everything. So you got this fight, and it's like, damn, I want to see that. I want to see Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson. And then I didn't even look at the prelim. That's how you know the card pretty good when you just don't go past the main card. You're just like, nah, I'm gonna watch it.
Because if the card wasn't good, you gotta go to the prelim. Like, hey, you gotta be somebody in here fight that I know that's a good fighter. There gotta be some other good fights on the undercard. What you got on the undercard, man? Is anything down there worth looking at?
William Knight fighting. He got in on the Contender Series. Big giant legs, big giant dude. He fighting. He hit like a Mack truck. Andre Arlovsky's fighting. I don't know if you needed that information. I apologize for saying that.
I didn't need that information there.
This is his 53rd fight. I thought Roxanne retired, or maybe this is her retirement fight against Casey O'Neill. Either this is her retirement fight or she retired and came back. But she's fighting. So it's like names that we know, up and comer, bangers on the main card. Thank you for finally doing what we asked.
I mean, I don't know if it's bangers on the main card like you're saying, but I feel like it's better fights than what was anticipated before. I feel like they did a great job of putting fights together that people would enjoy watching, but I don't know if it's bangers yet. We're going to have to tune in to see that. I feel like this Lewis versus Tuivasa fight is a banger. I feel like the Adesanya versus Whittaker can be a banger, but we never know because we've seen some Adesanyas in fights that have been very boring, and that's because the opponent came in not ready to fight themselves. So hopefully Whittaker comes in, he's ready to battle to the point where he's trying to take it to Adesanya, then Adesanya could do his thing where he counters him and puts some punches to bunches. But we just don't know for sure exactly what we're going to get out of the main event. And then that Jared Cannonier and Derek Brunson, it could be some smoke in the city. We just don't know, though. We just don't know. So I wouldn't say it's bangers, per se. I would say it's good fights, and you might get your bang for your money. But you never know, though, because these three fights can be some duds, because we've seen Lewis in a dud fight before.
Have we ever seen Lewis in a dud fight? I feel like he's got
one.
Listen, no, give me a minute to explain. He's got the little he got the flashy thing.
Yeah.
That's what he be doing, man. He got the flashy thing. And so like, or he got his wand, he be like, obliterate, he'll just get rid of that memory out of your mind.
No, I still
you remember every time you see Derek Brunson's name, that's not what comes to mind at all. Was like, dang, he did have that boring fight with Francis Ngannou. I don't even remember that fight. It didn't happen. All I know is that one time he was like losing and knocked nobody out in the 5th round. Shit like that.
The last fight embedded in my head right now is a Cyril Gane interim championship fight where he didn't show up and got put to the ground. That's the last fight I have in my head right now. I don't even have his last fight, but after that in my head where he knocked old boy out, who they said it was going to knock him out, who was like 20 to 30 pounds underweight, or weighed less, 30 to 20 to 30 pounds weighed less than Lewis, and Lewis just knocked him the fuck out. So I don't even remember that fight that much. I remember the Cyril Gane fight, but I feel like I'm gonna remember this Lewis versus Tuivasa fight right here. I feel like this is gonna go down in the books as one of the best fights that we've seen in a long time, because it's two opponents that everyone enjoys fighting. And when you get two opponents that everybody loves to see fight, you might see some fireworks out of that, man. So UFC 271 may surprise some people, and it may surprise me to the point where it's like I might scoot up in the seat a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say about this situation.
Hey, it's been a long time since we got that phone call where it goes ring ring, hello. Hey man, you watching this? Yeah, man, I'm watching this. And then it'd be a dead silence on the phone where we both just like watching. It's like, damn, who you see that? Damn, man, you in front of me, man. Hang on the phone. Derek Brunson and Jared Cannonier was supposed to happen January the 22nd. The fight got pushed back to this card. That's why.
Well, the reason why I got pushed back is because I think Derek Brunson is a replacement fight for if somebody pulls out of the main event fight. So I feel like that's what that is.
Huh. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I've read it somewhere that Derek Brunson said that he's the step in for if something happens in the main event. So
Jared Max to do that.
Yeah, Jared Cannonier might not have a fight that night. He still might get paid, but he might not have no fight.
Let's move on.
Before we get on to the next part of the show, man, we got to talk about what's in the bottom right corner. We're going to change it up a little bit later on, but we got to talk about what it is right now. Stunt is a habit. Get like us, happens365.com/trash-talk-BS for that 10% discount on all apparel. If you want your logo promo in the bottom right corner, all you got to do is hit us up at
myfeetsmelllikebutt@gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. Tough 30 is coming up. And we're not talking about Tough 30 because it's a combination of those newcomers coming in. You get an opportunity to see some of these bangers that you normally won't see unless you're on the regional scene. We talking about it because trying to get into it, man, because it's going to be exciting, man, because I feel like something's going to happen later on this year in this fight that we might see later on. What's going down, man?
I'm going to catch it on Twitter. That's what's going down. I'm going to catch the recap. So I don't remember the last time I've seen The Ultimate Fighter, honestly. I don't remember the last time I actually sat down and had to, tune in. Like, I need to catch it. I remember it was Black Zillions versus American Top Team. That was the last one that I watched. Now, I
think my last one was
way back then. You about to go way back.
Where
season 5 with Nate Diaz.
Nah. What's his name? 18.
With it was Rashad
Evans versus
Quentin Rampage.
Yeah, when he tore the door up.
When he tore the door up. And he was like, who was he? He was like, come on over, titties. Remember? Oh man, yeah.
Getting into it, man. That was really very interesting right there.
So you got this, and the only thing that I'm gonna be excited about really is the fight after. I mean, there might be some narratives coming out of here. Chandler Cole's on the show, all this, that, and the other.
True.
But it's like, but then you got the rematch. It's like, we're gonna go out there and they're gonna be like, all right, well, let's fabricate some beef, with these guys, and then what? They're going to do this. They're gonna make one of these characters not likable. It always happens.
Well, here's the thing about this Tough 30 right here, and this is what I don't like about the Tough 30. When Emmanuel Nunes gets on the mic, sometimes she doesn't portray herself in a way where some people can understand as well as we would like to. And I think it might be just a little language barrier here and there, because she speaks English, but it's like a little bit broken English at times. She can speak good English, but it's one of those things where if you're not from here, you can't speak it as well. So what I don't want to happen is you're watching the show and you're not getting some of the effects that would get out of it if she could speak English better. So that being said, I don't know if we're gonna get what we need to get out of it, which is controversy and drama. Because I don't feel like Amanda Nunes is a drama kind of person. She's one of those individuals that shows up and shows out inside the cage, and she lets her fist do the talking instead of her doing most of the talking outside the cage. So I feel like it's gonna be one of those nice fests where each one of them compliments each other to a point, and then
Nope.
every now and then you might get some hot takes. But I don't think we're gonna get as many hot takes as we would like to.
I don't know. It seems like all the Portuguese speaking fighters give us the real good hot takes. Anderson, I back. Remember?
Yeah.
And then he was like, his spec. Everybody say his spec now. Yeah. Damian Mai said cage the yips. I gotta cage the yips. Everybody. They give us some sound bites now. It was like, oh, that's some cool ass. But no, what I'm saying though is I don't even necessarily think it's gonna be a nice fest. I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna come off as like, oh, they're really trying to be mad at each other right now.
And it's fake though.
No,
It's
you've
fake.
you've got a persona that Conor McGregor has that totally plays, pretty well. And it wasn't even. Oh, I watched that season. It wasn't even the best when he was coaching Tough. Or was he?
Well, the difference between Conor is some people don't like arrogance. They don't like cockiness. So Conor is just basically cocky as he's walking around. So you can just feel that energy. And when you get that type of energy around the wrong people, then it just rubs in the wrong way. You don't even really have to say anything. You just
at least it was a story. At least it was a story.
That was a story.
I don't know what the story is going to be. Right,
I don't get that out of these
They had me hating Ronda when she was coming down, giving up the little middle fingers. Or whenever she, I hated Ronda. Or they came out and we thought it was Kat Zingano and she's walked out. So, hey, it's me. Like, what is happening right now? Way back when Tough 5 or Just Let Me Bang Bro, all of them. It was good storylines. I thought for sure they were gonna retire this series and franchise over Dana White looking for a fight or even the Contender Series. It's much better ways of putting storylines out there than a 6-week show of people in a house. And they're like, let's throw in this, let's throw in that. Why are they did they used to throw in alcohol? Why?
True.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, but it's all about drama, man. It's just one of those things where reality TV, individuals like watching and other individuals inside the house and how they act, especially when they get alcohol in their system. And then you got fighters who are always on the edge because they always is thinking they got to prove something inside the house together. You got a lot of testosterone in there, and things happen. People get knocked in the face. That's just what happens when you provide alcohol and testosterone and egos in the same spot. You get, I'm gonna punch you in your face right now. And it's just some people in that household have not been in their upbringing is not as good as others, and they're always feeling like their back's against the wall, and it's just one of those things where fight or flight, and they're gonna fight. And no matter what the situation is and how good they're doing, they the only thing they know is punching you in your face. So that's what makes this tough competition what it is.
Jersey Shore was a fake show. Let's move on.
I mean, Jersey Shore is a fake show, but they still doing spinoffs on it, and they still making money off that show. That's all I'm gonna say about that situation.
Who watching Jersey? Who watching Jersey Show?
I ain't watching.
Show yourself. Is it people watching Jersey Shore the same people eating Arby's? Show yourselves. Show your damn selves. I need to see. That's why
Arby's still in business, because Jersey Shore people. I guess that's what it is.
Show your damn selves.
Yeah. So, hey man, let's talk about the next part of the show, man. Before we get into it, man, we gotta talk about what's in the bottom right corner, man. Stunters are happy. Get like us. Happy365.com/trash talk BS for that 10% discount. And if you want something in the bottom right corner, all you gotta do is hit us up in
My feet smell like butt at gmail.com.
Hey man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. We didn't really talk about yesterday's fights as much because I don't feel like it was as important as we would like it to be. So that's why we didn't focus on it. But there was one thing that came out of this last night's fights that continuously comes up every now and then when we watch the MMA fights, and that is judge it fair, please.
Judging,
Judge it fair, man.
judging.
Shine, get into what happened to last night, man. Because this judge right here, some people are calling for his job. What happened?
I don't know. I feel like Sal D'Amato doesn't score fights too bad though. Like I guess you would have to go like look at it, but I've always had this rhetoric of like pay attention to these terrible scorecards because we only remember it when it is a robbery. We only remember it when it is like just outrageously egregious of a decision to where we're like, there's no way. I.e., Johnny Hendricks beat George St. Pierre. You go back and watch that fight. They're like St. Pierre. We're like, huh? Weird. Or the Nick Diaz Carlos Condit fight where Nick was pressuring the whole time. Those types of fights. We remember that stuff. Like, man, that was controversial of a decision. Or poor Angie. Ooh, Angela Hill be on the wrong side of a bunch of split decisions.
That's like 2 or 3 in a row.
we remember those. We say that all the time. But think about this. Sean Strickland fights the international dancing Jack Hermanson, and he gets the W. So, right guy won. But still, we got to deal with this, though. You've got a card turned in that's what, 48-47 for Jack Hermanson. And if you actually look at it, bro, he didn't win. He didn't win the fight. He didn't even think he won the fight. He was probably surprised that it was a split decision just as much as we was. And you got like, listen, 49-46 from one judge for Sean Strickland, right? 49-46 for another judge for Sean Strickland, right? And then you got 48-47 for the other dude. Bro, that's a 3-round swing.
Yes.
That's what are you watching?
Man, he had his phone up looking at the fight on his phone, so I guess he had a delay and he was taking the drink.
He look, he was looking at it. And this what happened. He looked up, hey man, can I get another one of them? You know the little thing with the shit. Okay, now you got a punch. Okay. You know, with the little thing. The little drink, the little fruity one. Bring that ding. Damn, I done missed the whole first round. Let's see, which one I'm breathing hard. He won that one. But I don't feel like he puts in that many bad cards though. And somebody said one time, like for accountability, maybe it ought to be the fact that if someone puts in a scorecard like this, they should have to defend it, you know?
On the spot.
Just on the spot. Just defend
it. They should bring all 3 judges in the ring, especially a main event fight.
And let them tell what their scorecard is?
Yes. They should tell them
give them the mic. I thought he had it there in round 3, but I actually gave it 48-47 for Jack Hermanson. Everybody's booing, throwing shit at him. He's like, well, calm down, guys. And then the other two read their scores. He's just standing there like, shit. For real? Y'all thought it was... But it was that one time he punched him. It was like, it whiffed by. Y'all didn't see it? Man, that would be cool. Or 2 other ways to fix it. A press conference where we can ask these judges questions. Or open scoring.
I like the open scoring, but I do like that press conference at the end because I think that would weed out a lot of judges who are controversial.
The only thing is it's the commission that is doing that, puts the judges on. So it's therefore, if it was the UFC, they can require you go to a press conference, but the UFC isn't paying them, so we may not be able to get that to be pulled off. But we can't have open scoring.
If we can't get that pulled off, open scoring would be great though, because then the fighters will know exactly where they are in the car after each round too. So
except for there'll be a lot of coaches.
Even if they don't know, the coaches will know.
Yeah. Even if they did it like hell, I got one. You put in the round 1 fighters fight, ding, rounds over, 1 minute, hey, you got to go out there and stick with your left, run with your right, get in there, champ. Ding, round 2 starts. 10 seconds later, then the score's released. Fighters are already fighting, right?
So you
And
can't
then they
tell
turn
them,
it. Then they turn into scorecard. If you hear them, you hear them. If they scream it out, they scream it out. But that'd be no different than somebody watching it on TV and shooting the coach a text message saying, they did live score and they've got them losing or something.
Yeah.
10 seconds later, they show it up on the big screen, and then we can see it. And then you go past that, you get rounds 3 and 4, and 4 and 5 shouldn't happen anyway. But you get round 2, round 3, and they go, hey, buddy, the last 2 rounds that were judged, we're down. We got to get moving. And I don't necessarily think the only rebuttal that I see is like guys are going to be up big in the 5th round and they're going to coast. That's the only argument that people put forward past like maybe we shouldn't do open scoring is the fact that when these guys get up, say I'm up 2 rounds to nothing and I'm clearly winning, I'm just going to coast in the 3rd. That ain't too hard to do in the first place, because if you up 2 rounds, you're gonna coast anyway. Now, if you're up 2 rounds in a super duper close fight, and you're still up 2 rounds, and the other guy has to finish you for it's still no. Because you have to fight to defend yourself. What are you gonna do? Run the whole time?
Dana might get caught.
Yeah, Dana was gonna cut Anderson Silva for that one fight where he didn't do nothing with Damian Maia. Didn't even want to put the belt on him. They not gonna play that. And I believe the crowd will hold you accountable. Like, we did all this to get open scoring, and you gonna coast in the 3rd? No. Some other kind of bonus.
You play to win, though. They say you play to win. That's all I'm saying. They say you play to win.
But that's no different than having a very, very strong wrestling pedigree. And Sean Strickland said it last night the same way. He's like, man, that's my bad, y'all. I let the win bonus get the best of me. That's what the problem is. Though it's the show and win. It's more of a problem where fighters might play it safe than it would be with an open score. And I almost believe that. Imagine this. Imagine getting paid $80,000 for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you get paid $80,000 for the fight. You going into the 3rd round. You're up 2 rounds, but you got to make a statement or whatever you got to do. You go out there and fight. Okay, cool. Imagine getting paid $80,000 for a fight, and you only got $40,000 of it guaranteed. Now people gonna start making weird decisions.
Because if you got the fight in hand and you're in the 4th or 5th round, you're gonna coast it.
Yeah,
I got this fight.
Losing then cost you $40,000.
Yep.
That's what the problem. That's what you run into. Like your issue of all of this. Losing in the 3rd in open scoring with a show and win bonus costs you money.
Mm-hmm.
In boxing, you know what you're gonna get paid when you go out there. Maybe we switch over to that model, switch over to open scoring. Maybe we see some barn burners. I don't know. What do you think?
You might see some better fights though. Seriously, when you put it like that, individuals up 2 rounds, up 3 rounds. I know I got the fight in the bag. I'm not finna put 100% of trying to knock this dude out, trying to put this dude in submission, because the simple fact is that this other guy is a trained fighter as well. And what if he catches me? What if he gets me in some kind of submission that I have to tap and I lose that money? So I feel like what you're saying with the show and win is not a good model, especially if we're trying to go towards a more open forum when it comes to judging. I feel like if they do go to a more open forum because of judging, they need to scratch that show and win, and you just need to, hey, you show up, you get paid this, and you're going to know exactly what's going to go on in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round, but you already know you're going to win this amount of money, so you're fighting for a bonus. So it's one of those things where we get to the 2nd round, you up 2, you can still make more money if you knock this dude out.
Look, guaranteed money, and we already seen it on Twitter. Everybody talking about, they got the locker room bonuses. Yeah, okay, they still doing locker room bonuses. Imagine you go out there and coast it in the 3rd round, and they be like, hey, Dana, can I get that little, get little bonus? Boy, if you don't get your ass out my face, that's what's going to happen. So I feel like the crowd, the people, everything is going to have that accountable for that third round. That's the only other argument I can see to open scoring. I don't know any other downside of open scoring. I don't know. If you can think of it, let me know.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
What else you got?
Man, next week, UFC 271. The week after that, BKFC Knucklemania 2. We're going to talk about that on next week's show. So it's going to be something good that's coming up next week. We get into a little bit more on Knucklemania, man. Chad Mendez, Mike Perry. We got the 125 championship belt coming to the women's division. So we got a lot of stuff we need to talk about next week, but we're going to get into the Adesanya versus Whittaker, give a post-fight reactions between me and Sean, to tell you how we thought about it.
Man, I hope it's a good one, so we got something to talk about.
I feel like the co-main event is going to be something good for us to talk about. I'm just saying. That's just it is what it is. I think the co-main event is going to be better than the main event, man. But that's
double
all I gotta say about
knockout.
it.
Double knockout.
Nah, man.
And they're both doing shoeies together because you know what? It was a draw.
I hope not. I hope not. Somebody need to get knocked out tonight for that night. But I ain't got nothing else, man. What you got, man?
Hey, man, it's been real.
It's always real, man.
It's been good.
Been good tonight.
But it ain't been real good.
I ain't never that.
Look, we're going to come back next time. We can't stay so long.
Holla.
Peace.